We've all heard of the Tesla Model Y, but how will this car affect Tesla sales in the future, and is this worth buying? First, let's take a look at all the EV ranges right now, and let's see how Tesla Model Y fits into these charts. So let's start off with the 2018 models, because the majority of the people right now have the 2018 models. We could see that the top 3 cars are easily Tesla models. We have the Tesla Model S at 335 miles, the Tesla Model 3 at 310 miles, and the Tesla Model X at 295 miles. And after that, it sort of slips off as the next car has 238 miles, and that car is actually the Chevrolet Bolt. A lot of these models have improved in range. For example, the Tesla Model S now has a 370 mile range from their 2019 model. So the Tesla Model Y is expected to have a 300 mile range, which places it at around 3rd place when we're talking about the 2018 model ranges. But a lot of you guys are probably going to say, why are we looking at 2018 models? Shouldn't we be looking at 2020 models? Because the Model Y is going to release in 2020, right? So let's actually take a look at 2019 models, because those are the only models we have. In 2019, we could see that the Model X has moved above the Model 3, and the Model S still stays number 1 with 370 miles worth of range. We could see that the Model 3 and the Chevrolet Bolt have stayed the same in the range from 2018 to 2019. So the Model Y places at 4th place right here, which is pretty decent for their price, and also considering the fact that they are a heavier car than the Model 3. In 2020, we can expect that the Model Y stays at 4th place, as the Chevrolet Bolt is miles and miles away from reaching the Model Y's range. It's also pretty interesting to note that the top 4 cars on this list are all Tesla cars, and the 5th car, the Chevrolet Bolt, is far away from these Tesla cars, which goes to show how Tesla cars are really the best EV cars in the market by a lot. When we lay out the prices, we can see that the Model Y is not the cheapest. It's actually more expensive than the Model 3, but it still has potential to hit the mass market with the $39,000 base model Model Y. However, that base model for the Model Y will be delayed, just like the Model 3 had their base model released far after the actual one has been released. So far, it seems like the Model Y is a pretty good car, but it doesn't seem like it's game changing. So let's talk about its new features and what sets it apart from the other cars. One new feature of the Model Y that could make this car game changing is the amount of safety it has.
And we expect it will be the safest mid-size SUV in the world by far.
Safety doesn't seem like a game changing factor. It's not like a cool feature or anything, but it's actually the top factor when it comes to choosing cars. When the car is released, we'll see whether Elon Musk is actually true to his word. But for now, we're just going to assume that this is a pretty safe car that could make it game changing when it comes to sales. Elon Musk actually says that the Model Y sales will be Model S and Model X sales combined. Now we have to doubt his word, but here's a clip of him saying it just to show you guys some proof.
Yeah, I think it'll probably sell. I think we'll probably do more Model Ys than S, X, and 3 combined, most likely. Yeah.
One major criticism for the Model Y is the fact that 70% of its parts are actually the same parts as the Model 3, which goes to show that this car is basically the Model 3, but just with some minor features changed. However, despite the lack of new features, I still believe the Model Y will be a game-changing car. The reason why I believe this is because the SUV market share is actually really huge, and whether you think this is an SUV or not, Elon Musk calls it an SUV, you may believe it's a crossover or a mid-sized SUV. Whatever you think, it's still a lot bigger than the Model 3, and I believe it could still hit on a lot of the market share for SUVs. So let's take a look at the statistic on the screen. It basically shows how many people stay with an SUV once they buy an SUV. So we could see that it's definitely above average, it's around 66%. It's the highest out of all of them. It's actually the only car type that's higher than the average, which goes to show how big the SUV market really is. So now let's answer the question, is the Model 3 really worth buying? Is it worth pre-ordering or waiting for it to come out and then purchasing it? I would say no, because the Model 3 is already out and they're pretty similar. But if you do want a bigger car, perhaps there's no rush to buying a new car, then the Model Y would be worth the wait. It sounds like the target audience for the Model Y is focusing on families. We could see that with how big the Model Y is, how safe it is, and how the center of gravity is pretty low, which makes the car really stable. This especially hits on the car sick market because lots of people get car sick in cars. I know sometimes I do, but especially with kids, this car actually has a very low center of gravity, as Elon Musk said, which makes it not shake around much. But now if you're here to talk about Tesla stock, let's get right into that. The Model Y is not too flashy of a car, but I do think this will be game changing for Tesla stock and will definitely make Tesla stock go up, as it's hitting on a huge market share, has potential to bring in lots of revenue for Tesla and possibly bring it profits. We also can't forget that the EV industry is also growing along with the SUV industry too. So this is going to be huge in 2020 and will definitely be huge for Tesla. With that being said, I'm probably pretty biased because I am a Tesla bull and a Tesla shareholder. But let me know what you guys think about in the comment section below. Also be sure to subscribe and like. It really helps out with the channel and it keeps it going. And as always, thank you guys for watching.